Carolyn Topol, and we're here for Carolyn Topol Talk. And I'm very happy to be
I'm here for Carolyn Topol Talk, more than you are, but I'm here. Okay, just want to make that clear.
Okay, and we're here with Vincentirizarry, who is known for a number of shows on television, both daytime and primetime over the years. But now, Vincent, now that you are taking a step back a little bit for a while from the daytime programming, you've been doing some other projects.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit. I'd love to start off with something I think a lot of people have heard and seen so far, was your music.
Yeah. I've been writing some songs. I put some on social media, and I'm actually in the middle of, I'm almost done writing another song. More as a lyricist and also songwriter. I went to Berklee College of Music. We're in Boston right now for an appearance here. And I went to Berklee College of Music many years ago. I studied classical piano growing up as a kid, and I'm self-taught on guitar, but I've played Paul McCartney on stage in New York in a play called Lennon. So music has been a part of my life for, oh my gosh, for many years. I don't want to date myself. Many years. So it's kind of exciting to be able to put together songs that are relevant to me in my life, very personal. So that's what I'm doing right now, and it was fun. I put something online recently called Everybody Knows, and I've gotten a wonderful response to it. Yeah.
Well, that you shared that with us, and that was a very personal song.
Yeah, it was very personal song. I have another song that's kind of the flip side of that. It's also personal in a different way, but and that one I'm writing more on piano right now. It's a waltz 3/4 time, and the lyrics are very real to me. And there's a sort of a classical sort of interlude period part of it that I love.
Now you've done musical theater. I mean, you mentioned Paul McCartney,
Yes.
but you've done musical theater before.
I have.
So.
I actually, when I was working in New York, I did theater for 6 years before I did my first TV show, which was Guiding Light. Guiding Light was a 3-day job, and it created a career for me, frankly. It was a 3-day job. It was a day part. The character Lou Jack, it did really well. They asked me to do another 3 days, and then I literally, for 30 plus years, because of that character.
That one exploded, right?
It really did. And I was doing, prior to that, theater, and I was doing predominantly dramatic theater, and I did do a couple musicals. I did a play at the Public Theater called The Death of von Richthofen, about the World War I flying ace, the Red Baron von Richthofen, and it was directed by Des McAnuff. Des McAnuff, he wrote it and directed it, and he was sort of the wonder kid at the time of the Public Theater. He has since gone off, Des, and he's the artistic director at La Jolla Playhouse.
Oh, okay.
And he created The Who's Tommy, which went to Broadway, and also the Four Seasons Jersey Boys. He created that at La Jolla Playhouse, both of those plays.
Oh, wow.
And he directed the Death of von Richthofen. I'm going to be very honest with you, and it was a wonderful play, but at the time, I don't know visually if that looks good, but
that's okay.
So
we're very relaxed around here.
There's something about that that's like gives a different impression. But anyway, I'm excited about the interview, but no, I'm kidding. All right. But he directed the play, wrote the play, The Death of von Richthofen. But at the time, and I would say that as a young actor, I was very into dramatic theater. That's what I wanted to do: theater and film, TV. Musicals, I kind of didn't get it. I have a really good singing voice. I'm trained now as a singer, as a tenor, and the whole thing. And I've sang with the Orchestre de Lyon in Lyon, France, and then concerts and things. But at the time, I couldn't get wrap around my head around the reality of musical theater. It just seemed strange. I was doing a play about the World War I flying aces, okay, in World War I, where it was like the mustard gas, the whole thing. And I'm sitting there, I was in the ensemble of that play. And I'm not, this is not exactly the song, but I felt like this. We're singing songs like, he dropped the bomb, the mustard gas is at his feet. And I'm like, what the hell is it? It was bizarre, it was very strange. And I'm like, I don't know if I like musicals, this is weird. I like real theater, I love real dramatic experiences, life experiences.
I'm having a flash of the producers though when you sang.
I
this.
know, yeah, that's true, that's true, that's true. And I just, it was strange because there was Richard Maltby and David Shire, who they came and they were working with us on that show at one period. Oh no, they came to Lennon. I left that show because I got offered Paul McCartney in the play Lennon, and I went to do that. It was a different type of musical because it was the Beatles. It was all Beatles music.
Right.
I mean, great time. And Richard Maltby and David Shire were writing different things. They'd done several projects, and they were doing a new show called Baby at the time, and they talked to me about possibly being in Baby. And also Zorba the Greek came to Broadway, and with Anthony Quinn, and because of me in Lennon, people were like, you have to be in this. It would be great for you to be in. And I was like, I don't want to do musicals. It's just too weird for me. All of a sudden people breaking the songs. It's just too weird. I could not wrap my head around it. So I turned all of that down, didn't want to even pursue it.
Okay.
And it wasn't until I went to see Les Miserables. And
Yes.
I was blown away by the music, the storytelling. There was a story about Grace, and it meant something to me, and I thought it was really quite spectacular and beautiful. And I probably saw it like 10 times throughout the years, with different productions, different
I would
actors.
imagine a lot of people could say that because
Yeah, it was very special.
It's something that no matter how many times you've seen it, it
Right.
still is as moving.
And then I went to see, I read the book, Victor Hugo, read that, I was like blown away by it. And the book is like, even takes it to another level, it was crazy. So I started going to musicals more and really learned to appreciate musicals. And so that's where, for me, that it became like that type of thing. And where storytelling and music and being a lyricist, writing, I've always loved certain songwriters throughout my life, whether it's like Cat Stevens or a young actor, a young man, or Paul Simon, people that tell stories and do that with lyrics. So that's kind of what I'm playing with right now, and that's why I did that song and put it on social media, and that's why the next song that I'm writing right now has more relevance to me. And I think I have kind of like, I'm very proud of it, frankly.
I mean, I think a lot of people would be very happy to hear more of your music, and
Well, it was actually because of Days of Our Lives. I was really fortunate. I hadn't been playing classical music for years on the piano, and when Ken Corday asked me if I'd be willing to do it, because he knew in our interview he found out I went to Berklee College of Music here again in Boston, and then I studied classical music. He asked me, would you be willing to play classical? And I said, I haven't played in years, but I can do it. Just give me the time. Don't ask me to play a Chopin waltz in 3 days. It's not going to happen. Give me some head time, and he did. So I played like at least 6 different classical pieces on that show, from Debussy, we played Eric Satie, played Chopin, played Beethoven, Moonlight Sonata.
those are some of the most moving scenes as well, because
yeah,
music,
they were beautiful because it added something, it enhanced it, and it added depth to the character.
Yes.
It gave another level of something that he was very dark, but that brought a romanticism to
Absolutely.
the character.
Absolutely.
And it was those songs that were specifically chosen by them and by me to say this will enhance this character.
I felt it also added
because it gave a longing to the character.
a humanizing
It
component.
absolutely did. It did, and I loved it. I was very proud of that. I was very proud of it.
It was beautiful.
So that's where the music comes around, and it's funny because it's always, even after leaving music college and going into acting, music keeps coming back into my life throughout all these years.
Maybe that's a sign.
Yeah,
For sure.
Yeah.
And I know you've been doing some other projects as well.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, you still are visiting with your fans. We're here at a Starstruck Fan Events in Boston, and you just give your all to your fans. You really do. You're warm with them. You're comfortable with them. It's really lovely.
I've been doing this now. It's been, gosh, man, it's been like 35 years, over 35 years I've been in this medium, and everybody says this, but it's true that daytime fans are the most supportive, most loyal fans of anything you can, because they are going on, sometimes some of these shows going for 40, 50, 60 years, Guiding Light 72 between radio and TV. And there are people that were listening for that show on radio and carrying through. So those are extraordinary fans, and our lives are built on the foundation of that support, and I'm grateful to that. And everybody, most of the actors that I work with, most of them, like I say, all of them are very well aware of that, and they're grateful for that as well. So I do these events, and I'm always very happy to have the opportunity to do it, and we have a great time. And there are some people that come back, and we've seen.
Right.
You've been to several of them with us throughout the years.
Yes, I have.
And we're just very appreciative of the fact that you guys are there supporting us. So.
And we're really appreciative that you're willing to come, because this is sort of an unusual thing.
Yeah.
Overall, I mean, you wouldn't see, or you don't see the primetime shows do things like this. If they have anything, they might have like a signing.
Yeah, or they do it like a major event where it's like Comic-Con, and then they all go there for that. I've done several of those, like 3 or 4 of those. Not me personally, I've gone to them. I've never gone to any event where I was a part of it, but I went there as an actor and somebody in the business, and being invited to go to different events. And it's fun, but it's a circus. This is very different. It's a much more intimate setting.
And now going a little off from the acting piece, I learned recently, and you and I spoke about this earlier, that you have developed an interest in wines,
right.
And that you became a sommelier.
Yeah, second level. I'm certified. Yes, I'm certified WSET, WSET. It's
Okay.
yeah, it's an international wine testing. That's a sommelier level course. Yes, and I studied under Peter Neptune, who's a master sommelier, which is kind of extraordinary because there's only approximately 250 people who's ever passed that test to become a master sommelier in the world.
It's incredible.
It is crazy. It's
well,
like harder than the bar.
To you. That's
but
wonderful.
No, I'm not the master. I'm second level. But I studied under him, and he was fantastic. And it was a very difficult test. Oh my gosh, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I was the second highest score of this test, and the passing grade was 55. 25 people took it, 6 people failed, and I was the second highest score, and I had 78. There was only one person that broke 80. It was 86. So, but because of that, and as you know, I'm also been selling wine with the distribution company, International, and the timing of it is very interesting because I got the sommelier certification, and within like less than a month, I was asked to work with this company, and now all of a sudden I'm representing about 1,000 wines throughout the globe, old world, new world, from everywhere, from Italy, from France, from Austria, from Germany, from Spain, from Portugal, from Croatia, Slovenia, from Australia, from New Zealand, from Argentina, from Chile, from California, from Washington, from Oregon, all over the globe. It's crazy, so it's enhancing my knowledge even more from beyond the testing that I did and the study that I did, that I'm literally getting samples, and tastes of wines from all over the world, of all different wines I never heard of before, like Blaufränkisch or Plavak Mali and Malvasia, and those are Croatian wines.
With all the wines that you have tasted, is there anything specifically that you find that you personally enjoy the most? And I'm not going to ask you for a specific bottle, but maybe even a type of wine.
I would say this, that it's funny because like with this portfolio that I represent, I've got wines again from all over the world. But when I go, if I have an account that says that they want to taste Pinot Noirs, and they want New World Pinot Noirs, which are California, Washington, Oregon, basically. Even Australia and New Zealand are both that. They're New World. The great thing that's really for me that has been an eye-opener is that I'll bring them sometimes 15 different wines, okay, for them to taste. and I always start at the lowest, a valued wine, okay? It could be a valued Pinot Noir that's like $9 a bottle. And I progressively, from one to the next, regardless of region, but just value point,
Okay.
going up to the highest priced Pinot, which could be like $40, $50 a bottle, okay, of that wine.
Right.
And that's for restaurants, okay? So that would be more in a store. A $50 bottle of Pinot for a restaurant would most likely be like $120 or something in a store, okay, $100 something. But the thing that I came to realize in tasting them incrementally from one stage to the next, you genuinely taste. Certainly there are exceptions to the rule, but you taste a difference in structure, okay, in complexity. It could be a subtle difference, but you literally taste from one, you go to the next level up, there's like, wow, that had a little bit more of this profile or this tasting that's there. Oh, going up to the top, and then all of a sudden it's like, wow, this is like another world. And that $9 bottle could have tasted good. It could be really good at that price. It's a valued wine. It's a value wine, and you could taste it and go, well, this is really quite special. But when you get to the $50, it's like, this is otherworldly.
Yeah.
This is like, and so that for me, you wouldn't get that opportunity to do that kind of a sampling testing if you're eating at a restaurant.
If you're eating at a restaurant, of course not.
Can you open up 15 bottles of Pinots for me? I want to taste each one of them. That's not going to happen. So, and that's just with that. I could be Malbecs. I have Malbecs from Argentina, and I have Malbecs from France. And a lot of people don't realize that a Malbec, actually, the grape originated in Cahors, France. So I'm working with a winemaker, a vineyard that's been in production since 1503 from France. And they have 4 levels of Malbecs, starting with an unoaked Malbec, $9 a bottle. Go to the next one. First one is $15 a bottle. The next level is a cru level Malbec at $25. And then they have another one that's $125. And it's from that region of Cahors, France. They've been producing since 1503, and you're like, oh my gosh, these are delicious.
So, you know, it's interesting because one of the things that I've always thought about too, like when you're doing things like that, is that there is a history. There's a really amazing history, and you think about the harvests that have happened, and
there's so many contributing influences on the bottle that you're drinking right there. It could be the same producer for 20 years, but every year climate affects it, the soil affects it, could be the amount of water that it's received because of rain, natural rain. There are the wines that I personally represent with my company. They're artisanal wines. They're artisans. They're not mass-produced wines. They're not wines that you're going to find at grocery stores or supermarkets. They're very much more selective, and they don't produce on the level of some wines that you find at those stores at a supermarket. They may produce 20,000 cases of wine, okay, those wines.
Right.
The producers I work with can produce as little as 200 or 300 cases, 1,000 cases, 1,500 cases. That's a lot for the ones.
Okay.
So these are and they're hand harvested, which is not mechanically harvested.
Right.
There's no machines going through the vineyard, ripping the grapes off and throwing it in a vat and just throwing it all together and separating and just using the bad grapes from the good. They're hand harvested.
This is the
they're
gentle, specialized
That's right.
process.
And they're meticulous about process. So you taste the difference. It's a significant difference. And I'm not going to name any mass-produced wines. I don't want to,
No. We don't want to
besmirch
do that.
anybody. But there are numerous ones that people drink on a regular basis that they see. And I know that for like a Pinot Noir, good example. Pinot Noir grape is a small grape, thin-skinned grape that requires a cool to moderate climate.
Okay.
There are winemakers in California that mass-produce wines that people are drinking on a regular basis that are inland where it's very hot. So those grapes are going to ripen much quicker, and when they're harvested, it's going to have a sour taste to them.
Okay.
So those things influence it. Gravel or soil, what kind of soil it is, whether it's clay. Cabernet Sauvignon is a good example. Cabernet Sauvignons are a thick-skinned grape that requires a lot of heat, okay? That's why if you go to Bordeaux, a lot of them are in places where they have a gravel. Their soil is more gravelly, okay?
Yes.
Could be slate, could be gravel, chopped, could be quartz. It's because the sun in those places, it's hot, and at nighttime, the stones retain the heat.
So it even
It
adds
helps
to the warmth.
because
right.
they need to fully ripen for them to be at their premium, at their optimum. So I'm learning all of this, of the different types of Chardonnays.
It's great seeing your enthusiasm about it.
Yeah, and
too.
I love it. I love it. I'm getting the opportunity to try wines from all over the world. That even though I may have gotten this second level certification, I would just have to be doing it at restaurants. And now I've got wines from all over the world in my home, and I'm like doing samplings with people and tasting them, and I'm learning something every time I open a bottle.
Well,
You know?
first of all, thank you for sharing all this.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
And thank you also for coming and being so good to your fans.
Yeah.
It
well,
really is
I'm
lovely.
very grateful, yeah.
And we're grateful that you do this.
Yeah, thank you.
And we really hope that we'll be able to see you on screen soon. And
Okay.
maybe we'll get some new characters or
Yeah.
resurrect old ones. That's okay too.
I would
We're
love that.
good.
Yeah,
We're
I would love
good.
that. It'd be cool. It'd be
Because
great. I
we'd love
loved
to
it.
see you on screen.
Yeah, me too. I loved it. I loved working the characters. I feel very fortunate. The characters that I've had the opportunity to
And you've had
create.
some really good characters on
Yes, I
several
have.
soaps. So
I know,
we
whether it was
that.
Lou Jack or it was David Hayward,
David
whether it was
Hayward.
Deimos, which was fantastic. It was a great one to step into, the opportunity.
Well, you know
to-
what? They resurrect characters all the time
Yeah.
on these shows, so
Yeah,
we can revisit.
Yeah.
We can revisit. I'm
and I
there.
loved working with John Aniston. I loved him. He was fantastic. What a sweet
Yes.
man. He's awesome. And I love the people on that show. It was a great show. So,
Well, your fans really did love you on
Thank
it
you.
and do miss you. And we hopefully will see you there or anywhere else. We're happy there.
thank you, Karen.
And thank you so much for sitting with me
Well,
this
yeah, my
evening.
pleasure,
It was really
my pleasure.
nice.
I'm sorry, I hope I didn't get too technical with the wine, but it was fun.
That's
You know?
okay. That's lovely because
Yeah.
I'm sure there's people out there that are interested in it.
Yeah.
And for Carolyn Topol Talk, thank you all for watching, and we
Yes.
will see you soon, and hopefully we'll see Vincent soon on our
Cheers.
screens again.
Yeah, it's Cent'anni.
Oh,
Later.
beautiful. Thank you.
All right.